as you get older. One of the most striking changes that happens inside the body isn't something you can see in the mirror or measure on a scale. It's what takes place at night when you should be deeply asleep. Most people don't realize that after the age of 60, the amount of deep, restorative sleep the brain and body are able to achieve can drop by as much as 70%. That's not just a minor inconvenience. It is a profound biological shift that affects almost every system in your body. Deep sleep is not just about resting. It is the stage of sleep where your brain cleans itself, where toxins are flushed out, where memories are organized, where your hormones reset, and where your body repairs at the cellular level. Imagine losing 70% of that critical process. That's like showing up to work every day after only finishing 30% of the preparation you need to do. It leaves you vulnerable, tired, and constantly behind. Now think about this for a moment. Do you ever wake up after what you thought was a full night's sleep, yet you still feel drained, foggy, and older than your years? That isn't just normal aging. It's your body sending a very loud message that the depth and quality of your sleep are slipping away. Researchers call this phenomenon sleep fragmentation, where you may technically spend 7 or 8 hours in bed, but instead of cycling smoothly through deep, restorative stages, you're waking up repeatedly tossing, turning, and never dropping down into the healing layers of rest that your body is desperate for. This fragmentation accumulates over time, and the results can be devastating: accelerated aging, weaker immunity, faster cognitive decline, and hormonal chaos. Here's the hook: when deep sleep disappears, aging speeds up. And I'm not talking about just wrinkles or gray hair. I'm talking about the aging that happens inside your arteries, inside your brain, and inside your very DNA. Deep sleep has a direct connection to the length of your telomeres, the protective caps on your chromosomes that determine how fast your cells age. Shorter telomeres mean faster biological aging, higher risk of chronic disease, and a shorter lifespan. Every night of poor sleep is like burning the candle at both ends, shaving time off your cellular health. But it doesn't stop there. Without sufficient deep sleep, your brain is unable to perform its nightly detox. You see, the brain has something called the glymphatic system, a network that activates while you're in deep sleep. Its job is to clear out waste products, including beta amyloid, the sticky protein linked to Alzheimer's disease. If you cut deep sleep short, these toxins remain, building up year after year, increasing your risk of dementia. This is why many older adults begin to notice memory lapses, slower thinking, and confusion, even if they're technically sleeping enough hours. They aren't getting quality sleep. And let's not forget hormones. Your growth hormone, which is critical for tissue repair, muscle maintenance, and fat metabolism, is released primarily during deep sleep. If deep sleep declines, growth hormone production plummets. Cortisol, the stress hormone, rises. Testosterone and estrogen decline faster. Melatonin, the sleep hormone, becomes irregular. All of this creates a perfect storm that leaves older adults weaker, more stressed, more inflamed, and more vulnerable to illness. Think about it. The very hormones that keep you youthful, energetic, and resilient are dependent on those nightly cycles of deep sleep. Take away 70% of that, and it's no wonder so many people feel like they are aging overnight. The most frustrating part is that many seniors think this is simply normal aging, and something they have to accept. They might dismiss it, saying, "I just don't sleep as well as I used to," without realizing the enormous cost it carries. Poor sleep isn't just about being tired. It's about your body missing the chance to repair DNA, to lower inflammation, to recharge your immune defenses, to balance blood sugar, and to keep your brain sharp. In other words, it's not a minor inconvenience. It's one of the most powerful accelerators of aging. Now, why is this happening more after 60? There are a few reasons. The brain naturally produces less melatonin with age, so the signaling that tells your body it's time to sleep weakens. Structural changes in the brain, particularly in the prefrontal cortex, reduce the ability to generate deep, slow wave sleep. On top of that, chronic conditions that become more common with age, like arthritis, cardiovascular disease, or even just increased nighttime urination, fragment sleep even further. Add stress, medications, and lifestyle factors, and you have a recipe for nights that are long but unrefreshing. But here's the powerful realization: although the decline in deep sleep with aging is real, it is not entirely irreversible. Scientists are now showing that specific strategies, from nutrition to lifestyle changes, can help the body reclaim some of that lost deep sleep. That means you don't have to accept fatigue, brain fog, and accelerated aging as your new normal. You can intervene, you can support your brain and your body, and you can create conditions where deep, healing sleep becomes possible again, even in your 60s, 70s, or beyond. So the next time you wake up at 3 in the morning and struggle to fall back asleep, don't just shrug it off. Understand that your body is missing out on one of the most vital rejuvenation processes known to science. Each night of poor sleep is like skipping the repair crew that's supposed to keep your brain sharp, your hormones balanced, and your body youthful. And once you realize just how much deep sleep protects you, you'll never look at a restless night the same way again. When most people think of sleep, Good, they only consider whether they got enough hours in bed. But here's the truth: even if you spend 8 hours under the covers, if your body isn't reaching deep restorative sleep, you are missing out on the very foundation of health. Poor sleep quality doesn't just leave you feeling groggy in the morning. It triggers a cascade of harmful effects that touch nearly every system in your body. In fact, the long-term consequences of disrupted or shallow sleep are so profound that many scientists now view sleep loss as one of the most potent accelerators of aging. Let's start with inflammation. You've probably heard the term inflammaging. It describes the chronic low-grade inflammation that steadily increases as we get older, acting like a slow fire smoldering inside the body. One of the biggest drivers of this process is poor sleep. Every night of restless sleep signals the immune system to release pro-inflammatory cytokines, chemical messengers that keep your body in a constant state of alarm. Over time, this inflammation damages tissues, erodes blood vessels, disrupts hormone signaling, and weakens the very structures that protect your cells from aging. If you've ever noticed that a few nights of bad sleep make your joints stiffer, your mood lower, or your skin duller, that's inflammation at work. Now imagine what years of poor sleep are doing on a deeper cellular level. And then there's cortisol, the stress hormone. Think of cortisol like your internal alarm system. It's supposed to rise in the morning to help you wake up and then gradually decline as the day goes on. But when your sleep is fragmented, cortisol never resets properly. Instead of being low at night, it remains elevated, keeping your brain in a state of alertness and your body in fight or flight mode. High nighttime cortisol not only prevents you from reaching deep sleep, it also raises blood pressure, spikes blood sugar, and puts continuous strain on the heart. This is one of the reasons why people who sleep poorly have a higher risk of heart disease, hypertension, and diabetes. Your body literally cannot calm down enough to repair itself when cortisol is running the show all night long. The immune system also takes a massive hit. Sleep is the time when immune cells regenerate, when your body produces infection, fighting T cells and natural killer cells, and when antibodies are strengthened. Miss out on that, and your defenses weaken dramatically. That's why people who don't sleep well get sick more often and take longer to recover. Or even vaccines become less effective in individuals with chronic sleep disruption because their bodies can't mount a strong immune response. In older adults who already have weaker immune function, this can be the difference between a mild seasonal illness and a life-threatening infection. Poor sleep also wreaks havoc on the brain. During deep sleep, the glymphatic system flushes out toxic waste products that accumulate during waking hours, including beta amyloid, which is linked to Alzheimer's disease. If your sleep is fragmented and those toxins remain in the brain, slowly building up over time. That's why memory lapses, confusion, and slower reaction times are so common among older adults who sleep poorly. But it goes even deeper. Disrupted sleep alters neurotransmitter balance, reducing dopamine and serotonin, which are critical for focus, motivation, and mood. That means not only are you more forgetful, but you're also more likely to feel anxious, depressed, or unmotivated to stay active. Here's another angle people often overlook: metabolism. Poor sleep completely disrupts the delicate balance between two key hormones that regulate hunger, leptin and ghrelin. Leptin tells your brain you're full, while ghrelin signals hunger. Without adequate deep sleep, leptin drops and ghrelin rises, leaving you hungrier, craving more sugar and carbs, and storing more fat. Over time, this drives weight gain, belly fat, and insulin resistance, paving the way to type 2 diabetes. Think about it: you may be dieting and exercising, but if your sleep is broken, your hormones are stacked against you. That's why so many people struggle to lose weight, even when they're doing everything right. The problem isn't just what's on your plate. It's what's happening in your bedroom at night. And if you've ever noticed how your mood plummets after a night of tossing and turning, there's a scientific explanation. Poor sleep reduces the brain's ability to regulate emotions. The amygdala, the part of the brain responsible for fear and stress responses, becomes overactive, while the prefrontal cortex, which normally keeps emotions balanced, becomes less effective. The result: heightened anxiety, irritability, and even depression. Over the long term, chronic sleep disruption is strongly linked with major depressive disorder, generalized anxiety disorder, and even increased risk of suicidal thoughts. It is not just mental fog, it is a deep chemical shift in the brain caused by lack of quality sleep. The hook here is this: every restless night is like aging your body faster. It's like pouring gasoline on the fires of inflammation, dialing stress hormones to maximum, dismantling your immune defenses, clogging your brain with toxins, wrecking your metabolism, and throwing your mood into chaos. Most people underestimate this because the changes feel gradual. You don't wake up with a heart attack after one bad night, but the cumulative effect over months and years is devastating. It's like rust forming silently on the inside of your body. So when people say, "I'll catch up on sleep later," or "I've just gotten used to waking up at night," what they don't realize is that the consequences are not waiting. They're already happening. The wrinkles, the belly fat, the memory lapses, the rising blood pressure, the irritability, all of it is tied, often invisibly, to the silent thief of health: poor sleep. And once you truly understand how deeply it undermines your body, you realize that prioritizing quality sleep isn't just about feeling rested. It's about protecting your brain, your heart, your immune system, your weight, and your very longevity. When people hear the word turmeric, most think of it as just another spice in the kitchen, something used to flavor curry or give food a golden color. But hidden inside this humble root is a compound so powerful that researchers all over the world are studying it for its effects on inflammation, aging, and overall health. That compound is curcumin. And when it comes to restoring sleep quality, reducing pain, and protecting the brain, curcumin stands out as one of nature's most remarkable gifts. The fascinating part is that what ancient cultures have used for centuries in traditional medicine is now being confirmed by modern science. Think about this. Inflammation is the common denominator behind almost every chronic disease. Arthritis, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, dementia, and even many cancers. And one of the silent drivers of poor sleep in older adults is inflammation that has built up in the body over decades. When your joints ache, when your blood vessels are stiff, when your brain is inflamed, it is nearly impossible to slip into deep, restorative sleep. This is where turmeric becomes so unique. Unlike synthetic drugs that target one specific pathway, curcumin has the ability to act on multiple inflammatory signals at once. It lowers levels of cytokines like IL-6, TNF-alpha, and CRP, all of which are elevated when your body is under constant stress. By quieting these inflammatory messengers, turmeric helps create the biological environment your body needs to relax, recover, and rest. But inflammation is only part of the story. Curcumin is also one of the most potent antioxidants ever discovered. Free radicals, unstable molecules generated by stress, pollution, poor diet, and even normal metabolism, cause oxidative damage to your cells and accelerate aging. Over time, this oxidative stress disrupts sleep by damaging neurons, throwing off neurotransmitters, and impairing hormone balance. Curcumin neutralizes these free radicals directly and also boosts the activity of your body's own antioxidant defenses like glutathione. Imagine having a shield inside your body that not only blocks the attack, but also strengthens your natural defense systems. That's what curcumin does. Here's a hook that really drives the point home. While most sleep medications knock you out artificially, they do nothing to address the root causes of why you can't sleep. Curcumin, on the other hand, goes deeper. It doesn't sedate you. It heals you. It reduces the inflammation that makes your joints ache at night. It calms the oxidative stress that keeps your brain wired. It balances the hormones and neurotransmitters that prepare your body to drift into restful, natural sleep. That's the difference between putting a bandage on the problem and actually fixing what's broken. Brain health is another critical area where turmeric shines. As you age, levels of a protein called BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, decline. BDNF is like fertilizer for your neurons. It helps them grow, stay connected, and communicate efficiently. Low levels of BDNF are linked with depression, anxiety, memory loss, and poor sleep quality. Research has shown that curcumin can boost BDNF, essentially nurturing your brain's ability to stay sharp and resilient. When your brain circuits are stronger, your sleep-wake cycles become more balanced, and you're able to enter those deeper stages of sleep more consistently. Curcumin also plays an incredible role in balancing the stress response. Many people over 60 struggle with an overactive HPA axis, the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal system that controls cortisol. When this system is overworked, cortisol stays high at night, keeping you restless and tense. Curcumin has been shown to calm this overactivity, lowering cortisol and helping restore a healthier rhythm. That's why many people who take turmeric regularly notice not just less pain, but also a calmer mood and more peaceful nights. Let's not overlook the impact on pain itself. For countless seniors, joint pain and stiffness are the #1 reasons they can't sleep through the night. Arthritis, back pain, or muscle soreness constantly interrupt deep rest. Turmeric has been studied extensively for its ability to reduce pain, sometimes showing results comparable to anti-inflammatory drugs, but without the harmful side effects. By easing joint pain and stiffness, turmeric removes one of the biggest barriers to uninterrupted sleep. That alone can transform the quality of your nights. Another fascinating area is the effect on neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine. These are the chemicals in your brain that regulate mood, motivation, and relaxation. Low serotonin means poor mood and restless sleep. Low dopamine means fatigue, lack of focus, and lower drive. Curcumin helps to modulate these neurotransmitters, boosting serotonin and balancing dopamine. This not only lifts mood, but also makes it easier for your brain to transition smoothly into sleep. People often describe a subtle sense of calm and well-being when they start using turmeric consistently, and that is a direct reflection of its effect on brain chemistry. The protective benefits extend even further. Curcumin shields the brain from oxidative stress, reduces amyloid plaque buildup linked to Alzheimer's disease, and supports mitochondrial function, the energy factories inside your cells. When your brain is healthier, your sleep naturally improves because the systems that control circadian rhythm, melatonin release, and brain detoxification are functioning at a higher level. Here's the key point that ties it all together. Turmeric doesn't just help you fall asleep. It helps you become the kind of person who can sleep well. It works on the underlying causes that disrupt sleep in the first place: inflammation, pain, oxidative stress, hormone imbalance, neurotransmitter deficiency, and brain aging. By targeting all of these at once, turmeric creates the conditions for deep, restorative, natural sleep to return. So the next time you look at that golden spice sitting on the shelf, don't think of it as just flavoring. Think of it as a natural, multifaceted tool that can lower your inflammation, calm your brain, balance your hormones, and restore the restful nights that aging has taken away. And unlike synthetic pills that lose effectiveness and create dependency, turmeric works with your body, gently nudging it back into balance, helping you reclaim not just your sleep, but your energy, your clarity, and your vitality. If you've ever wondered why something as simple as a spice could have such a profound effect on sleep, the answer lies in how it works on the very systems that control rest, repair, and recovery. Turmeric, through its active compound curcumin, doesn't just touch one pathway, it works on several, creating a ripple effect that reaches the brain, the immune system, the gut, and even your hormones. This is why so many people who start taking turmeric consistently report that not only does their pain decrease, but their nights become calmer, deeper, and more restorative. The first way turmeric improves sleep is by reducing inflammation. Chronic inflammation is one of the hidden enemies of quality rest. If your body is constantly inflamed, your immune system is always on alert, releasing inflammatory messengers like IL-6, TNF-alpha, and CRP. These chemicals don't just damage tissues, they also signal the brain that the body is under stress, which makes it harder to slip into deep, slow, wave sleep. Curcumin has been shown in multiple studies to lower these inflammatory markers significantly. Imagine lying down at night without that constant background noise of inflammation. Your body is no longer fighting invisible battles here, and that makes it easier to relax into deeper stages of sleep. But it doesn't stop with inflammation. Turmeric has a powerful effect on the HPA axis, the stress response system that governs cortisol. The cortisol is supposed to be high in the morning to wake you up, and then taper off by evening so you can rest. In people with poor sleep, especially older adults, cortisol often stays elevated into the night, keeping them restless, tense, and unable to drop into deep sleep. Curcumin helps calm this system, lowering nighttime cortisol and restoring a healthier rhythm. This is why people often notice they feel calmer and less wired at night when using turmeric regularly. It's literally retraining the body's stress circuits to let go. Another fascinating way turmeric supports sleep is through its effect on the brain's growth and repair factors, especially BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. BDNF is like a fertilizer for your neurons, helping them stay strong, flexible, and connected. Low levels of BDNF are linked with depression, anxiety, memory loss, and shallow sleep. Curcumin has been shown to boost BDNF, which means it is actively supporting the brain's ability to generate healthy sleep cycles. When your neurons are healthier, your brain is better able to transition smoothly through the different sleep stages, including the deep, slow, wave sleep that is critical for restoration. Pain is another major obstacle to sleep, especially for seniors. Arthritis, back pain, muscle stiffness, all of these cause frequent nighttime awakenings and prevent the body from staying in deep sleep. Turmeric has strong analgesic properties. It doesn't just mask pain like many medications, it reduces the inflammation that causes pain in the first place. This is why many people with arthritis or chronic pain find they can sleep longer and more comfortably when they take turmeric consistently. By easing pain naturally, turmeric removes one of the biggest barriers to restorative rest. Neurotransmitters are another piece of the puzzle. Sleep isn't just about shutting down, it's about balance between calming and stimulating brain chemicals. Serotonin, for example, is a neurotransmitter that promotes calmness and is a precursor to melatonin, the hormone that controls sleep cycles. Dopamine, while often associated with motivation and focus, also plays a role in regulating the body's rhythms. Curcumin has been shown to positively influence both serotonin and dopamine, which means it can lift mood, reduce anxiety, and help the brain create the conditions necessary for sleep. This is why many people describe a subtle sense of well-being and relaxation after using turmeric. It's their neurotransmitters rebalancing. There's also the gut-brain connection, an area of research that's exploding right now. About 90% of serotonin is produced in the gut, and a healthy gut microbiome has a direct influence on sleep quality. Curcumin has prebiotic effects, meaning it supports the growth of beneficial bacteria in the gut. These bacteria not only improve digestion, but also enhance the production of serotonin, which eventually helps regulate melatonin and sleep cycles. Think of it as a chain reaction. Turmeric nourishes your gut boosts serotonin, serotonin promotes melatonin, and melatonin regulates deep sleep. It's all connected. Turmeric also acts as a protector of the brain against oxidative stress. Free radicals, if left unchecked, damage brain cells, disrupt circadian rhythms, and reduce melatonin production. Curcumin neutralizes these free radicals and strengthens the brain's own antioxidant defenses. The result is a calmer, more stable environment inside the brain that supports natural sleep rhythms. In other words, turmeric doesn't force you to sleep. It removes the roadblocks that have been preventing your body from doing what it is already designed to do. Here's a hook worth remembering. Every pill that knocks you out artificially is like putting your brain in a coma. You may be unconscious, but you're not truly restoring. Turmeric works differently. It heals, it balances, it nourishes. By lowering inflammation, calming cortisol, boosting brain growth factors, easing pain, balancing neurotransmitters, supporting gut health, and protecting against oxidative stress, it creates the perfect biological environment for deep, restorative, natural sleep. That's why it's not a quick fix for one night. It's a long-term solution that improves the very foundation of your sleep biology. So when someone asks why turmeric is being called one of the most important natural tools for health and longevity, the answer is clear. It's because it doesn't just help you sleep. It addresses the very reasons why you haven't been sleeping. And once those barriers are removed, your body can finally do what it was always meant to do: rest deeply, recover fully, and wake up with energy and clarity that you thought was lost with age. If you really want turmeric to transform your sleep and overall health, it's not enough to just sprinkle a little powder over your food once in a while. The real secret lies in understanding how to use it so your body can actually absorb and utilize its active compounds. This is where most people go wrong. They hear that turmeric is powerful, they buy a cheap bottle of capsules or throw a teaspoon into their smoothie, and then they wonder why nothing changes. The truth is, curcumin, the main active ingredient in turmeric, is notoriously difficult for the body to absorb. Without the right strategies, you're getting only a fraction of its potential benefits. But when you know how to take it properly, the results can feel like night and day. One of the most fascinating discoveries in nutritional science is the role of black pepper in boosting turmeric's bioavailability. Black pepper contains a compound called piperine, and studies show that when curcumin is combined with piperine, absorption can increase by as much as 2,000%. That's not a small improvement, it's a game changer. Think about it, without pepper, much of the turmeric you consume may pass straight through your digestive system without ever reaching your cells. With pepper, suddenly your body can tap into the full anti-inflammatory and sleep-supporting potential of this golden spice. This is why many traditional remedies, such as golden milk, often combine turmeric with black pepper. Ancient wisdom discovered the synergy long before science explained it. But pepper is only half of the story. Curcumin is fat-soluble, meaning it needs fat to be properly absorbed into your bloodstream. If you take turmeric on an empty stomach with nothing but water, the effect will be minimal. Pair it with healthy fats, however, like coconut oil, olive oil, ghee, or avocado, and the absorption skyrockets. This is why many people prepare turmeric tea or golden milk with a little full-fat milk or coconut oil. It's not just about taste, it's about turning turmeric into a powerful therapeutic tool that your body can actually use. So the combination is simple but essential: turmeric, a pinch of black pepper, and a healthy fat. Get that right, and you've unlocked its full potential. Timing also plays a role, especially when the goal is better sleep. Taking turmeric earlier in the day may still deliver anti-inflammatory benefits, but if your main concern is deep, restorative rest, the evening is the sweet spot. Imagine winding down at night with a warm cup of golden milk, turmeric blended with almond milk, a hint of black pepper, maybe a touch of cinnamon. Not only does this create a calming nightly ritual, but it also delivers curcumin right when your body is preparing for repair and recovery. Studies suggest that taking turmeric before bed can help reduce nighttime pain, calm stress hormones, and promote relaxation, all of which translate into fewer awakenings and deeper sleep cycles. The dosage is another critical piece. People often underestimate how much is needed for therapeutic effects. A little sprinkle here and there might add flavor, but it won't deliver enough curcumin to shift inflammation, cortisol, or brain chemistry. Research shows that for significant benefits, doses in the range of 500 to 1,000 milligrams of standardized curcumin extract per day are most effective. Whole turmeric root or powder can still be valuable, but keep in mind it contains only a small percentage of curcumin. This is why high-quality supplements that are standardized to contain higher concentrations of curcumin can make such a difference. And even then, it's important to make sure the supplement includes piperine or is formulated for enhanced absorption. Otherwise, you're paying for something that your body can't fully use. The quality is non-negotiable. With turmeric's popularity skyrocketing, the market is full of low-grade products, many of which are diluted or contaminated. Choosing a trusted brand that uses standardized extracts, tests for purity, and clearly lists curcumin content is essential. Otherwise, you may be consuming something ineffective or worse, harmful. Think of turmeric as an investment in your health. Would you rather save a few dollars and get no results, or pay for quality and actually feel your sleep, your energy, and your mood improve? The choice is clear when you realize the stakes. Another hook to keep in mind is this: turmeric works with consistency, not as a one-time quick fix. Just like exercise or healthy eating, the benefits build over time. Many people expect results in a night or two, but the real magic happens when turmeric becomes a daily habit. Over weeks and months, the inflammation levels in your body drop, cortisol rhythms smooth out, neurotransmitters balance, and the brain circuits that govern sleep begin to repair. That's when you start to notice you're falling asleep faster, waking up less often, and rising in the morning with more clarity and energy. Turmeric isn't putting a bandage on your problem. It's rewiring the system from the inside out. It's also worth noting that turmeric fits beautifully into a lifestyle approach. Pair it with other sleep-supporting habits, like dimming lights at night, avoiding caffeine in the evening, and creating a consistent bedtime routine, and the results multiply. For example, imagine ending your day with 10 minutes of gentle stretching, a short meditation, and a warm golden milk drink made with turmeric, pepper, and coconut milk. This combination not only signals your body that it's time to rest, but also nourishes your brain and hormones at the exact moment they need support. That's a holistic approach to sleep, powerful, sustainable, and natural. The lesson is simple but profound. Turmeric is not just a spice, it's a tool. And like any tool, its effectiveness depends on how you use it. Taken without thought, it's just flavor. Taken with pepper, fat, the right dose, and at the right time it becomes a powerful ally against inflammation, stress, pain, and poor sleep. The details matter because they determine whether turmeric is just a bright yellow powder on your shelf or the key to unlocking deeper, restorative rest and better health as you age. Picture this, you've carefully added turmeric to your diet, maybe even started supplementing, and you're hoping for better sleep. But what if the real secret isn't just in taking turmeric, it's in combining it with the right lifestyle practices that amplify its effects? The truth is, no single food or supplement exists in isolation. Your body is an interconnected system, and when you align your daily habits with turmeric's unique benefits, you unlock a synergy that produces deeper, longer lasting results. It's not just about adding a spice, it's about creating an environment where your body is primed for true recovery and rest. One of the most powerful lifestyle strategies that pairs beautifully with turmeric is proper sleep hygiene. Think of sleep hygiene as the conditions you create around bedtime that either support or sabotage your rest. If you're taking turmeric but still staring at a bright phone screen late into the night, your brain is getting a signal to stay awake. The blue light suppresses melatonin, the very hormone turmeric indirectly supports, by lowering inflammation and calming stress hormones. By dimming your lights an hour before bed, shutting off electronics, and replacing them with a calming ritual, such as sipping golden milk, stretching, or reading, you allow turmeric to do its job more effectively. The spice is lowering the biological barriers, while your habits are sending clear signals to the brain it's time to rest. Exercise is another critical piece of this puzzle. You've probably noticed that after a day of being active, sleep often feels deeper and more satisfying. Movement increases adenosine, a chemical that builds sleep pressure, and it also regulates cortisol levels throughout the day. But here's where turmeric becomes a game changer. Exercise, while healthy, also produces micro-inflammation in the muscles and joints. For younger people, recovery is fast. For older adults, that lingering inflammation can mean stiffness, soreness, and restless nights. Turmeric steps in as the ultimate recovery partner. By reducing post-exercise inflammation and pain, it not only helps your body bounce back, but also ensures that your workouts enhance rather than disrupt your sleep. In fact, studies suggest that older adults who combine regular activity with anti-inflammatory support like turmeric report both better mobility and improved sleep quality. Stress management is equally important. Imagine trying to sleep with your mind racing about tomorrow's responsibilities. Turmeric has already been shown to calm the HPA axis and lower cortisol. But if you're still fueling your stress with constant busyness, overwork, or emotional strain, you're fighting against its benefits. This is where mindfulness practices come in. Just 10 minutes of meditation, deep breathing, or even a quiet walk in the evening can create a calming effect that pairs perfectly with turmeric's biochemical influence. Together, they tackle stress from both sides. Turmeric quiets the physiological response, while mindfulness calms the mental chatter. This 1-2 punch can be the difference between lying awake for hours and drifting peacefully into restorative sleep. Your nightly ritual is another area where turmeric can shine. Think about how rituals shape behavior. A consistent bedtime routine signals to your body that it's time to transition from alertness to rest. Imagine finishing dinner a little earlier, dimming the lights, making a warm drink with turmeric, black pepper, and a splash of coconut milk, and then settling into 15 minutes of light reading. Over time, your brain begins to associate these actions with sleep. Turmeric, in this context, isn't just a supplement. It becomes part of a powerful conditioning process that trains your body to relax on command. Ritual plus nutrition equals results. Our food choices throughout the day also interact with turmeric in ways that affect your sleep. For example, if you're consuming high amounts of sugar, caffeine, or processed foods, your body is constantly battling blood sugar spikes, inflammation, and overstimulation. These dietary stressors cancel out much of turmeric's benefits. On the other hand, a nutrient-dense diet rich in leafy greens, omega-3s, healthy fats, and clean proteins provides a foundation where turmeric can work most effectively. Think of it as clearing the noise so turmeric's signal comes through stronger. A low inflammation diet plus turmeric creates a compounding effect. Your body doesn't just sleep better, it ages better. Here's a hook worth remembering: turmeric on its own is powerful, but turmeric inside a lifestyle designed for recovery is unstoppable. That's because every small choice you make, whether to watch one more episode, scroll through your phone, or go for an evening walk, either amplifies or undermines the work turmeric is doing inside your body. If you choose wisely, the results compound. Imagine reducing your caffeine intake after 2 p.m., winding down with a calming ritual, staying active during the day, eating an anti-inflammatory diet, and adding turmeric consistently. Each of these actions alone helps, but together, they create a framework that restores the deep, rejuvenating sleep many people think is gone forever. What makes this approach especially exciting is how it empowers you to take control. Instead of relying on a pill to knock you out, which only masks symptoms, you're addressing the root causes of poor sleep, inflammation, stress, pain, and hormonal imbalance. Turmeric plays its part beautifully, but the environment you create through lifestyle determines how far its benefits can reach. The goal is not to force sleep, but to allow your body to return to its natural rhythm, where sleep happens easily and deeply. So, while turmeric is often celebrated as a miracle spice, the real miracle happens when you align it with the rhythms of nature and your own biology. You create the conditions for sleep, and turmeric helps remove the barriers that stand in your way. Together, this synergy doesn't just improve one night's rest. It transforms the way your body heals, recovers, and thrives over time. That is the true power of combining nutrition with lifestyle, and that is how turmeric becomes more than just a supplement. It becomes a cornerstone of a life that is calmer, healthier, and more deeply restorative. When it comes to sleep, many people rely on personal stories, home remedies, or hopeful guesses, but what really matters is evidence. And turmeric doesn't just have tradition on its side, it has science. Across countless studies, both human and animal, turmeric has shown a consistent ability to lower inflammation, ease pain, improve mood, cure, and even influence brain chemistry in ways that directly support restorative sleep. This isn't wishful thinking. It's a growing body of data that connects a simple golden spice to measurable improvements in health and rest. If you've ever wondered whether turmeric can actually live up to the hype, the research says yes, and the details are even more fascinating than you might expect. One of the strongest areas of evidence is its effect on inflammation. In clinical trials, turmeric and its active compound curcumin have been shown to lower key inflammatory markers like C-reactive protein, interleukin-6, and tumor necrosis factor alpha. These are the same markers that rise with aging, stress, and chronic disease, and the same ones that make it harder for the brain and body to relax into deep sleep. In one randomized controlled trial, curcumin supplementation significantly reduced CRP levels in patients with metabolic syndrome, a condition closely linked with poor sleep. The message is clear: when inflammation drops, the pathways to sleep open. The scientific literature also highlights turmeric's impact on pain. Chronic pain is one of the most common reasons older adults lose sleep. They're waking up multiple times during the night. In studies on patients with arthritis, curcumin has been found to be as effective as certain pain medications, but without the dangerous side effects. And for example, a trial comparing curcumin to ibuprofen for knee osteoarthritis found similar improvements in pain and function. Imagine what that means for sleep. A natural compound that not only relieves pain, but also reduces the underlying inflammation, allows for more uninterrupted rest, something no synthetic drug can fully replicate. Another fascinating area is mood and mental health. Depression and anxiety are deeply intertwined with insomnia, and researchers have discovered that turmeric has powerful antidepressant and anxiolytic properties. In a controlled study, patients with major depressive disorder who were given curcumin experienced significant improvements in mood compared to placebo, with some studies even showing results comparable to prescription antidepressants. How does this tie into sleep? Better mood, reduced anxiety, and stabilized neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine all contribute to falling asleep faster and staying asleep longer. The science shows turmeric doesn't sedate, it restores balance, which naturally leads to more peaceful rest. Animal research provides additional insights into how turmeric influences the brain directly. In rodent studies, curcumin has been shown to boost levels of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF. This growth factor is critical for maintaining healthy neurons and supporting the brain's ability to adapt and recover. Low levels of BDNF are linked with depression, anxiety, memory decline, and disrupted sleep cycles. By raising BDNF, turmeric is essentially protecting the brain's ability to regulate sleep architecture, the delicate rhythm of deep sleep, REM, and light sleep that determines how refreshed you feel in the morning. Oxidative stress is another barrier to quality rest, and research shows turmeric excels here as well. Free radicals in the brain can disrupt circadian rhythms and lower melatonin production, both of which are essential for sleep regulation. Curcumin's antioxidant effects directly counteract this stress, shielding neurons from damage and allowing the natural sleep-wake cycle to flow more smoothly. In both animal and human studies, these antioxidant benefits translate into better cognitive performance, improved mood, and more consistent sleep quality. One particularly exciting area of science is the gut-brain connection. The microbiome is now recognized as a major player in sleep, largely because of its role in producing serotonin, which the body converts into melatonin. Curcumin has been shown to modulate gut bacteria, increasing populations of beneficial strains while reducing harmful ones. In animal models, curcumin supplementation improved not only gut health but also behaviors associated with anxiety and insomnia. This suggests that turmeric's influence goes beyond the brain. It starts in the gut and ripples outward, shaping how we feel, think, and sleep. Human trials provide the strongest validation. In older adults with chronic conditions, curcumin supplementation has been linked with improved mood, reduced fatigue, and better sleep quality scores on standardized questionnaires. While no single study has yet captured the full picture of turmeric's effects on sleep, the convergence of evidence across pain, inflammation, mood, oxidative stress, and gut health paints a compelling story. Each mechanism alone could improve sleep. Together, they create a powerful, multifaceted solution. Here's a hook that sums it up. Most sleep aids knock you out by brute force, silencing your brain without fixing the reason you couldn't sleep in the first place. Turmeric does the opposite. The science shows it works upstream, addressing the root causes: pain, inflammation, stress, oxidative damage, and gut imbalance. That's why its effects aren't limited to a single night of rest. They compound over time, creating a foundation where restorative sleep becomes the norm rather than the exception. The growing scientific evidence also explains why so many people experience broad benefits from turmeric beyond sleep: less joint pain, sharper memory, brighter mood, better digestion. It's all connected because the same processes that disrupt sleep also drive aging and disease. By targeting these processes, turmeric becomes more than a spice. It becomes a scientifically validated ally for aging well, living fully, and reclaiming the kind of deep, restorative rest that allows you to wake up ready for life. What makes turmeric stand out from pills and quick fixes is the way it works with your body rather than against it. Most people who struggle with sleep have tried over the counter or prescription sleep aids at some point. They may knock you out, but what's really happening is closer to sedation than genuine rest. Your brain is drugged into unconsciousness, but you're not cycling through the vital stages of deep and REM sleep that restore energy, repair tissues, balance hormones, and strengthen memory. That's why so many people wake up groggy, foggy, or even more exhausted after taking them. Turmeric, on the other hand, doesn't put you into a forced sleep. It restores balance to the systems that naturally generate sleep. That's a crucial difference. Instead of suppressing your brain, it removes the obstacles that have been preventing your body from doing what it was designed to do in the first place. The final takeaway is that turmeric's role isn't about acting as a sedative, but about rebuilding the conditions necessary for restorative rest. If your brain is inflamed, if your cortisol levels are spiking late into the night, if pain is keeping you tossing and turning, no amount of willpower will make you sleep well. Turmeric works by addressing those issues at their roots. By calming inflammation, easing pain, stabilizing stress hormones, protecting neurons from oxidative stress, and supporting neurotransmitter balance, it essentially clears the clutter in the body's internal environment. Once that clutter is gone, your sleep-wake cycle can flow the way nature intended. And when that happens, sleep feels effortless, not forced. One of the most powerful hooks here is this: the quality of your sleep dictates the quality of your aging. A poor sleep accelerates everything: wrinkles, memory loss, muscle decline, immune weakness, and even the risk of chronic disease. Good sleep, on the other hand, slows the aging clock. This is why turmeric's effect on sleep is far bigger than just helping you feel rested in the morning. By restoring deeper sleep, it directly influences how quickly or slowly your body ages. It's not an exaggeration to say that every extra hour of deep, restorative sleep adds resilience to your body and years to your life. Turmeric also sets itself apart by being safe for long-term use. Sleep medications often come with a cost dependency, tolerance, side effects, or dangerous interactions with other drugs. Turmeric doesn't carry those risks when used responsibly. In fact, the longer you use it consistently, the more benefits you tend to see, because the body's inflammation levels continue to decline, brain health strengthens, and neurotransmitters balance more fully. That means the improvements in sleep are sustainable, not temporary. You're not just buying one night of unconsciousness. You're investing in a body and brain that know how to sleep naturally every night. The long-term impact of turmeric on health makes it even more compelling. Deep sleep is when growth hormone surges, repairing tissues, building muscle, and burning fat. It's when the brain flushes out toxins through the lymphatic system, clearing away proteins that, if left unchecked, can contribute to cognitive decline. If turmeric restores deep sleep, it's not just giving you energy for the next day, it's protecting your muscles, your brain, and your metabolism for the future. That's why people who consistently use turmeric and improve their sleep often report benefits far beyond rest. They feel sharper, their joints ache less, their mood lifts, and even their digestion improves. It's all connected because sleep is the master regulator of health. Think of turmeric as a bridge. On one side is where you are now, struggling with restless nights, frequent awakenings, and days filled with fatigue. On the other side is where your body could be, rested, restored, and able to function at its highest level. Most medications build walls. They separate you from your body's natural rhythms. Turmeric builds a bridge back to them. It doesn't override your biology, it repairs it. That's a profound difference, and one that carries implications for every area of your health. Another way to look at it is through the lens of independence. Many older adults fear losing their independence more than anything else. But independence is built on strength, balance, memory, and energy, all of which depend heavily on sleep. If turmeric can restore the sleep that fuels those abilities, it becomes much more than a spice. It becomes a safeguard for independence, vitality, and quality of life. That's the deeper promise hiding inside every scoop of golden milk or every capsule of curcumin, not just sleep, but freedom. There's also something empowering about the fact that this solution is natural and accessible. Unlike expensive therapies or risky prescriptions, turmeric is something you can integrate into your daily life right away. A warm evening drink, a supplement taken with dinner, a seasoning added to your favorite dish. Each small step compounds over time. The consistency builds, the inflammation drops, the nights deepen, and the mornings brighten. And all of it is driven by a choice you made to work with your body instead of against it. So the real hook is this: turmeric doesn't just help you sleep, it gives you back what poor sleep has been stealing. Your energy, your clarity, your resilience, and ultimately your years. While others chase temporary fixes, you can invest in a natural solution that doesn't mask the problem but heals it. And in doing so, you give yourself the gift of not just longer nights of rest, but longer, healthier, more vibrant years of life.